Greetings, Internet. Welcome to Arab Plays, and I hope you're doing fantastically well. This will be Situation 8 of PanzerBlitz that me and Harri have played as an opposed playthrough using Vassal. I recorded the logs as we were playing, and then I am now relating it back to you, what actually happened from my memory, and obviously as the game progresses on the board. We were doing this live Vassal until about the 7th turn, whereupon life, the universe, everything, killer whales, typhoons, just got in the way. So we then went to play by email, which slowed the game down a bit, but at least we got it completed, which allows me to bring it to you. Let's go down to the map and see what the current situation is. Okay, so this is my setup for the situation. I'm going to go through what it is, what's going on. There is another map board above what you can see here on the screen, which obviously I'm not showing because that's the German setup. Okay, so PanzerBlitz Situation 8. Russian organized defense. German relief on the Korsun pocket, 16th of the 2nd, 1944. So German units often became trapped during Russian advances and had to be rescued. The Russians usually took the opportunity to use their own tenacious defensive tactics. So it says Russian forces, elements of the 180th and 51st Guards Rifle Divisions plus 428th Tank Destroyer Regiment must set up on board 1. Command points may only spot for the 120mm mortars. So this is obviously board 1 as denoted here. Obviously board 3 here and board 2. Elements of the 5th SS Panzer Division, 905th Assault Gun Battalion, 255th Infantry Division, SS Brigade Wallonian, and set up on map board 2, which is just off screen at the present moment. There are 10 turns. Germans moving first. Victory conditions for me as the Soviets, or Russians, whichever way you want it. It says Russians on here, but at this time they were Soviets. So marginal. For a marginal victory, I've got to destroy 10 or more German units. Tactical, destroy 20 or more. And decisive, destroy 30 or more. So, yeah, a rising scale. For the Germans, they've got to get 30 units off the west edge of the number 3 board. So, in other words, off here. That's for marginal. They've got to get 30 units off by the end of the game. Tactical get 40 and decisive get 50. So that's a big ask. Now, the thing with my Russian forces is they are very static. I've only actually got 2 mobile units, which is this tank unit here and this tank unit here. The rest are either infantry or mortars, and pretty much staying where they're going to stay. Now, it is as tough a line as I could create, but I'm realizing that wherever the Germans attack, there's not much I can do about it to bolster the defense other than moving very slow infantry and such forth. So where I've got fortifications here, in there is my command points, which is spotting for these big juicy mortars. I'm trying to discourage an attack through the centre by the mines and having a bit of that and putting as much strength as I could in the centre so I can respond at least a little bit either way. The Germans set up on board 2, and now let's bring in the Germans. And there they are. So we have a lot of truck-borne infantry. These are the infantry that are obviously trying to escape. And then you've got massive armoured forces here. So he has got a total of... Let me change my glasses so I can better read the card. He's got 3 Panthers, 4 Panzer IVs, 4 Panzer IIIs, a Vesp, a Hummel, some other anti-tank assets, 8 half-tracks and 16 trucks. So, and 2 command points that he wants to get off. Remember, he needs 30 units off the west edge. I need to destroy 10 of these Germans. Let's see how the game progresses. So as you can see, he has amassed most, well, in fact, nearly all of his armor and assets on my left, his right, with his trucks are waiting for a breakthrough. And it's quickly how much I can bolster the area he tries to break through. This is also a situation which is fairly unusual for the Russians in that normally they trade space for time. By the looks of this one, I'm going to have to trade blood for time. Let's get back down to the map. And remember, if you do enjoy this, hit the like and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and any comments, much appreciated. But back to the map. German turn one. So I'm going to focus on here because, as I say, this is where he's got his most assets. Can't see him going through the minefield. And he's creating attack mark. Why does he do that? Why is he creating attack markers? Let me zoom out. Thought I'd zoom in. We're creating attack markers. I might pause while we do. So in this game, you have to pre-designate any attacks. He's attacking my little redoubt here with an infantry unit and an anti-tank unit fortification. So it's got defense of 50. If he manages to eliminate the fortification, because you attack just the fortification, then you eliminate the units inside. So, and then he decides no attacks. Okay, he obviously was planning it, but then he decided against it. Right, and now the movement. And here they come. So there's a half track that's moving over here. Shall I zoom? Let's zoom in a little bit. There we go. See what's going on. So we have an half track with some German infantry in it. Right, just as a reminder of what these values are on these counters, if you haven't played PanzerBlitz in a long time or never played, you have attack, range, defense, movement. So half track, attack of 2, range of 4, defense of 4, movement 10, and it's carrying, because it's underneath, an infantry unit with an attack of 3, a range of 6, defense of 8 and a 1. What's that infantry unit carrying? I have created an acronym for that because it's an attack, which is A, R for range, D for defense, and M. So all Randy dogs mate. I know, sad, but hey, how we all use devices to try and remember things, and that's what I've used. Anyway, enough of that. Let's get this guy moving on. All right, so each of those hexes costs 1 movement point into the gully, along the gully, and then he has disembarked the infantry there, and then pulled them back out. Or has he? Okay, in comes another one. Dropping off the infantry. The German stacking limit is 3 units. If it's being carried by a half track, it doesn't count toward the stacking, but as soon as you disembark, then it will. So he's managed to drop in that hex 2 infantry company platoons for the Germans and 1 engineering platoon. And the half tracks have moved on. One of the weird things in this, it costs no movement factors to drop something off, but to pick it up, you've got to actually start the turn in the hex, and then it takes the whole turn. Here they come. More infantry sitting on the ridge there. And then tanks on the ridge. Or hillock. Not quite a hill, it's a hillock. Bringing the boys up. So pretty much everything is going to be hitting my left, his right. Which pretty much makes most of my stuff that's on my right absolutely useless because there's no way they're going to get across the actual field. Right, he's now marking assaults. Now, this is a little house rule. We were unsure at the time, or about back in situation 2, maybe 3. Can you assault if you're disembarked? Um, couldn't find it in the rules. Eventually found it. It says you can't, but we were doing it for situations 2 and 3, and it just seems to make more sense. You disembark and then you assault. So we've been doing that for all the scenarios. If it unbalances a scenario, well, it unbalances it for both of us. So marking the target. So the red one, so he has got an attack of 3, 6, 9 versus my defense of 18. But he has got engineers with his infantry, so that gives him an extra odds. So it shifts him to 1 to 1 with a -2. There's the odds table, 1 to 1 with a -2. X is eliminated. DD and D are dispersal. DD's a special dispersal. If it had already been hit and gets one of those, then it's if it was already dispersed and gets a DD, it becomes eliminated. I'm trying to think. I don't actually remember ever seeing that happen. But anyway, he's 1 to 1 -2. He's actually -1 because he's attacking into a wood. 4, which becomes 3. And I corrected him there because I'm sad like that. So 3, 1 to 1 with a 3. That would have been dispersal on the Russian unit, and then you can see we've marked it as such, dispersed. The blue one, on here, he has got 3, 6 attacking, 18. All right, yeah, 6 attacking, 18. 1 to 3. He rolls a 1, which is a D. He gets lucky. All right. Russian turn 1. So with dispersed units, I can't do very much with them at all. So they can't move, they can't attack, and at the end of my turn, they get recovered. So I've got to wait a little bit. Let's just move this a little bit that way. There we go. Yes, I have to wait a little bit to do anything with them. However, in my movement phase, I have got 2 mobile units. Let's zoom out a little bit more. Here and here. And I can start creeping these guys across, but it's going to take pretty much most of the game. But anyway, so Russian turn 1. First of all, I was trying to work out what can and can't see. Okay, this guy's sitting on a hill. Can he see those tanks? The slope says no. How those guys on there can see. As you can see, I'm doing a range check along there. And oh yeah, that command point can definitely see those tanks on the slope there. And another check there. Lots of checking who can see what. And then my mortars and their range. The mortars don't have to see, they've been spotted for by the unit. So lots of spotting going on, working out ranges and so on. Do I do any attacks? Well, there we go. Attack 1 coming in. And I mark the units that are going to do the attack. My dispersed units can't spot, so I can't see that unit there, most definitely. But he, on the slope, can be seen. Attack 1. Okay, so let's have a look at this attack 1. We have got 24, 48 attack from those 2 mortars against a piddly defense of 8 from those 2 half tracks. It's an auto kill. And why do we say auto kill? 4 to 1. Okay. Even with a 6 is an X. It's an auto kill. Normally, when you're attacking at 4-1, you're firing against defense, where a +1 applies. A 7 is nothing at all. One of my big dislikes, in fact, of that arrow, I should imagine the only dislike really I have of the system is that's not a bit more granular. Put a 6 as a D and a 7 as a D or something like that. But to go from kill to nothing is like, whoa. Anyway, it's an auto kill. I don't even have to roll the dice for those two. He left those a bit exposed to my mortars. So that's 2 of my 10. Whoop, whoop. Okay, attack 2, which is one of those tanks, or is it all of those tanks? Have I got anyone else marked with attack 2? No, it's just probably one of those. Let's have a look. Because in attack 2, we have just the anti-tank gun. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, great. And Rex, he was a bit, no, 1-1. So 12 versus probably 8. One of those tanks. What a one. Well, comes a 1 or 2 for some reason, but anyway, 3. I roll a 3, no effect. Okay, and attack 3, which is the other mortar, 24 versus those infantry versus 16 on the slope. Or they doubled? No effect. Cleared up, marking the units that have fired. Then starting to move. Okay, so you can just see there what is that? Is that a T-34? Looks like a T-34, doesn't it? So I wish the actual numbers, what the actual unit is, was a little bit bigger on the counter. But then again, there's only so much you can fit on the counter. Actually, it's an Su-85, not a T-34. It's an Su-85. So an assault gun and destroyer. Hybrid between the two. Anyway, it's moving. Using the road. As you can see, I'm trying to respond as quickly as I can with my units. Infantry moving 1 space at a time. If they're on the road, they can move 2. That is a close assault coming in, I should imagine. There we go, marked it. 1 to 3, because I'm attacking with 5. He's defending with 4, 8, 12. 1 to 3, -1. Because the close assault gets a -2, but the woods gives it -1. Does it do anything? Ooh, a 1. 1 to 3 with a 1 becoming a 0 is a D. That was good, because that means they're not moving. General cleanup. Removing all my fired markers. German turn 2. Okay, so planning of his attacks. Seeing what he wants to attack. What's he going to attack it with, though? That's the question. All right, so that position, defensive 50 is difficult. So he's seeing who can see it. Clicking through. That is a definite necessary target, but he's got no one who can spot for it. Dispersed units can't spot. He's sitting in the woods. He can't see him. He can't target it. Why the map keeps flipping across, no idea. There you go. Probably because we're taking markers from there. So what's he lining up here? This part of the game does take a bit of planning. There's not many games that I can think of there where you have to pre-designate the shots. But he's chucking everything, including the kitchen sink, at that position there. Big old infantry. He's got a defense of 18. So he's throwing his tanks, all combining their firepower. And he's got a mortar over here. And then he's using his big guns, the Vess and the Hummel, and try to take out that fortification. So attack 2. Oh, attack 1 first then. 1-1. He managed to get a 1-1 attack on that fortification. He rolls a 1. Rude. That's a double D. So they'll be marked as dispersed. Attack 2. Combining all that firepower, he gets a 4-1 on that position. +1 because of the woods. Rolls a 1. He likes rolling 1s. That's gone. Uh-oh. There is now a gap. So, as they would say on British Rail in the Underground, mind the gap. Well, now there is one. Putting all the count to the side, and now the moves. And here they come. And I was like, didn't they fire? There we go. Because that's the problem he's got. He had to generate a lot of firepower to take out that unit. So therefore, the units that could exploit that aren't really there. Because they fired, they can't move. But there are always other units that are creeping along. His infantry moving forward here to engage. And then we've got a close assault going in. Again, 1-1, -1. It gets normally -2, but because the wood's -1. Gets a 2. Another good roll, 1-1 with a 2. Comes a 1. That is dispersed. That means I can't use him to spot. His recovery. So he's created the gap, but he had to use everything he had to take out that unit. That meant that he couldn't exploit the gap, which is like, okay, what do we do about that as the Russians? Russian turn 2. And this is where I come to my turn of I'm going to have to use blood rather than space to slow him down. Right, so I'm highlighting, this is, say, the Russian turn 2. My unit dispersed, he can't spot. So I'm working out targets here. Attack 1. What's going to be attacking those? The mortars. I've already worked out from the last turn that they can spot there. They're not the most effective against armor, but 2-1 versus the Panzer IV. A 1. 2-1 with a 1. I'm going to roll 1s too, Harry. That's taking him out. So at the present moment, that's the kill box. I've taken out 3. 7 more needed for a minor victory, marginal victory. Okay, marking my units fired, and then my movement. So my not Panzer, my Su-85, which we now worked out is an Su-85, moving up to the front. The infantry moving into that hex. So therefore, again, I'm creating that unit to block. I know he can take him out, but by taking him out, that's everything he's got. So he can't move through. So it's how many times can I keep plugging that gap? The sacrificial lambs. Because my infantry can only move 1 hex. You can see I'm trying to move as many as I can over to this area because this is where he's going to break through. But I mean, at 1 hex per time, I mean, it's going to take, so that'll be turn 3, turn 4, turn 5, turn 6. That's turn 7 just to get there. So that's the problem or the dilemma I've got. His problem is getting through. Moving as much as I can. I know some of these units aren't going to get there, but he could decide to switch, couldn't he? All right, so what was this? A 1 to 3 assault? Okay, that's 6 against, yeah, 16. 1 to 3. Roll a 4 with a -1. No, dream on. Okay, so I remove all the dispersed and fired. Cleared everything up. German turn 3. Okay, so the situation here has been restored, and I've got another unit to come and back it up, and probably another unit there. So how long can I keep this going? Well, at that rate, that's 1, 2, probably 3 turns. That only takes us to turn 3 now. So turn 3, 4, 5. That's halfway through the game. That might get there. Turn 6. Then he's still got to drive off the board. So that's the situation we're going in for. Turn 3. And that, I think, was the end of our first actual session. Okay. German turn 3. Tech 1 coming in. As you can see, he's having to commit as nearly everything he has to take that guy out, which is what I'm hoping for. Tech 2 from the Hummels again. Tech 2. He's rolled a 1. I don't like the vassal dice. I really don't. They don't seem to generate appropriately random numbers, but hey ho. So his attack 1 has taken out that unit with that 1. But there we go. But you can see again, he's committed pretty much most of his firepower. German movement. All right, so you had 1 free tank there. So here they come. It's a Panzer IV. So it's 3 onto the slope, 4 to there, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Some more infantry coming through on the aft tracks. It is indeed. And they downloaded. I feel sorry for this little Russian unit here. Let me zoom it up a little bit. There we go. Can't work out what to do with his aft tracks. Oh, it's taking him back. Is that a plan B? Taking back some moves there. Right. What's he doing? Yeah, plan Bs. So now he's bringing some trucks forward. He's not engaging with his trucks because most of them are carrying not a lot. Most of his infantry. He's got some infantry and some mortars there. All right, he's moved back his Hummel and his Vesp because they were too close for anti for indirect fire. I'll get the terminology. Indirect fire. They were too close. They're going to be over half their range. So he's pulled them back so he can start using his guys here to spot for his CP unit, which is in this hex here. And then we have a close assault, 1 to 1, -1. He rolls a 3, becomes a 2. He's dispersed. That means he can't spot my artillery. Russian turn. Says Russian turn 3. Okay, just double check, make sure I haven't missed a turn somewhere. I'm sure it's Russian turn 3. Let's have a look at the turn track. Yes, Russian turn 3. Okay, so he's now taken that space. He took it out with the Panthers and everything firing at it, and he's moved into it. So obviously I can't block it now. So I've got to think of a different plan to block, because with that there, he can start moving through over here. Now, but I can spot that hex. This hex can see it. If that hex can spot for it, and the CP unit here can see it, then I can bring mortar fire down on it. So I'm clicking there. Oh, he can spot. He can see there. Firing from the hill. Just working out lines of sight. He's on the hill can see, because it's not crossing that green line. Green line blocks. Two are far away. I've got some guns on the other side. I've only got a range of 20. They definitely can't get in there. That's the tank. That tank can see. And I'm attacking individual units, which you're allowed to do. There's different ways of attacking in this game. You can attack the whole stack, or you can attack individual units. And that's what I'm doing here, attacking individual units, getting the best benefits I can out of it. You can't do that if units are in a town. You've got to attack the whole stack. When you close assault, you've got to attack the whole stack, but using different attack methodology. So attack 3, 4 to 1. So attack 3 is using, so it's against an infantry, it's got defensive 8, and I am using the mortar, the anti-tank gun on the hill there, and it looks like one of the big mortars. 4 to 1, +1, with a 1. That's a kill. Attack 2, 4 to 1, +1. See, I can roll. This is the thing why I don't like vassal. So it's predominantly rolling one. It rolls 1s and 6s. It sometimes rolls every now and again, but 1s and 6s. Okay, and then attack 1, 4 to 1, +1, a 2. That was a disaster for the German forces, because now I've taken out 6 units. I need 4 more for a marginal. Marking all the fired units. And then I'll begin moving. So I move back into that. Remember, I'm trading blood for time. Let's zoom out a bit, see what else I'm moving. The gradual creep of the Russian infantry. Some that just will never get there, but they can block any other exaltations. So we have a close assault going in here. 5 versus probably 8 and 4. No, they're mounted, so it'll be 5 to 4. The infantry that are mounted in the half track don't count. 1 to 1, -1. 3 becomes a 2. Dispersed. Let me know in the comments, any of you who use Vassal and think that the Vassal dice bot is a bit suspect. Um, Normally, or sometimes when I say normally, sometimes when I play by mail, I use the White Horse card tracker because it's got a good dice bot on there. That seems to work quite nicely. And obviously, when I'm playing my games purely solo, on Vassal, you can see I use real dice. A, because I don't like the dice bot. B, I just like it gives me some tactile feel because obviously with playing Vassal, that's the one that big disadvantage is you lose that tactile feel in the game, which a lot of us play these board games for. If we wanted to play purely on a computer, we would play computer games. So yeah, German turn 4. Okay, so he hasn't broken through. The crust is still holding, and he's taken 6 losses. So I'm at this point feeling, yeah, going okay. Right, and he's attacking that again. But this time, he's got this mortar involved. He's having to commit virtually everything he's got. That's been attacked. I think I said at that point they're too close still. So, okay, 4-1. I'll attack one. He's taking it out again. So, as I say, blood for space and time. 1-1 +1. So, nearly everything he has fired, which obviously I'm quite happy with because that means he hasn't got that many units to break through. German moves. Truck-borne infantry coming forward. He's realised he's got to move them even further. He's got to move right to the board edge to be able to get them involved. All right, is this an assault coming in? 1-1 -1, where the 4 becomes a 3. Disperse, still can't spot. Clearing up. Russian turn 4. Now I've got some really stonking howitzers over here, but they've only got a range of 20. So I put 2 of them over here. I mean, again, if he'd come this way, they would be brilliant to take him out, but he didn't. And I don't think they got, well, no, they didn't get a shot off the whole game. So attack 1. There's an infantry unit there. What am I going to attack him with? Work a few things out. My mortars. Again, I'm spotting. This hex can definitely see there, into there, and that unit can spot. If I didn't have this unit here, no matter what this can see, there's got to be a unit that can actually, if it's in woods or town, there's got to be an adjacent unit to spot for it. If that's a completely open hex, then yes, then this guy can see, or sitting on top of a hill like in that hex. That hex there, I need an actual unit adjacent to it to be able to spot. Okay, 4-1 +1, 2 becomes a 3. Taken out. So that I think takes me to 7, doesn't it? We're at 7 at the moment. 6, that's 7 kills. 3 more for a minor victory. Okay. I am now having to sacrifice my most mobile units. My infantry just cannot get there now. Um, and yes, we have the edge of the board creep along. Infantry moving 1 space a hex. And now we go to turn 5. Okay. So he's now working out who and what can see that hex. The range, remember he can only fire, it's range 13. So the Vest can shoot there, but I think the Hummel, it's too far. Or is it the other way around? Turn 5. Again, he's having to commit quite a lot of his units to get these attacks in. So attack 1, which is whichever one of that is, the 60-24. One's the Vest, one's the Hummel. Attack 1, rolls a 4. Boom. Thing is, now in that hex, there's Rex count towards stacking. So I cannot move back into that hex because it's overstacked for me. The Germans can. Slightly bonkers rule. The Russian units, though, are companies, while the German units are platoons. So a platoon could squeeze in there, a whole company cannot. Okay, so we're into the German. Okay, must have taken that one out as well. All right. Didn't write the odds down there. But anyway, German turn 5 moves. And here comes the tanks. He's through. One. So he's starting there. 1, 2 into the gully. 3 out the gully. 4, 5, 6. Why is he taking that back? We're just correcting. I think he's forgetting these slopes cost 3. He's through. But it's tenuous, as you can see. But this is turn 5. He's still got all of that assault going in. So that'll be 6 against my defense of 16. 1 to 2 minus 1. 2 becomes 1. Dispersed. Which means, again, it can't spot. Russian turn 5. Okay. That little dude, though, yes, he can spot. And we've got some mortar fire coming in. 4 to 1. Got him. Because he's in the open. So that's my mortars fired. So how many is that now? Is that 8? We're at 8. 2 more for a marginal. Trying to block as much as possible, especially on the roads. Don't want the Germans getting hold of the road network because if they ever get onto this road here, it's straight. Half movement point per hex, yeah. Especially if his trucks get down there. But his trucks got a long way to go through this terrain. I was going to say something else there. Clearing up. And we are on to turn 6. German turn 6. So effectively halfway through the game. He has a breakthrough. I don't have many units now that can actually block. I can't get back into that hex, so he has got a constant sieve approach through that way. But time is starting to count. He's got to get, remember, 30 units off the board there? 30. That's a lot to get off. And I only need 2 more kills to get a marginal. So I'd say at this point I was feeling pretty pucker. Attacks coming in. More from the hill. And the big boys at the back there. Quarter one. Yeah, that takes out that rifle company. Once he's got these guys now firing in, more of a gap. Here, more some infantry. There's German infantry in town. He's not having to fire so many units, so he's now got more mobile units that can come through. He's got to be careful with his trucks, though, because they are quite vulnerable. Bit of a close assault occurring around here. Russian turn 6. Okay, so I'm now a little bit in a I mean, he can spot these guys, but this guy's still also he's the CP unit. He has to see there to be able to bring the mortars into here. And I think you'll see I'm trying to work out, can he? No, it crosses this hill here. Let me just zoom a little bit in on there. Boop. Oh, I don't want that one. No, I want the zoom. That one. Get rid of that. So yeah, because it crosses two hexsides here, that blocks it. And I was like, no. It's really nice to get these big mortars to fire over there, but nah. So this infantry is like, I can get support. No, I can't. That hill, as you see on. So what do? We don't fire at all. Moves. Get out of town because that he's vulnerable there now from these guys, who could then probably spot from here. Let me zoom back out again. So I thought, no, get out of town. There's no point sacrificing this. And then the inevitable infantry creep, just trying to get something over there. And I knew that right from the beginning of the game that, there was one place where he attempted to break through. I'm going to struggle to get reinforcements there because I only had 2 mobile units, which was those tanks. I think it's turn 7, German turn 7, and that's where we ended our second actual live session. So it's going my way at the present moment. Yeah, I only need 2 more units for that marginal, and he's still got to get 30 units off to get a marginal. But there is a breakthrough. There's just not enough of my units to block his route through. So it's now a case of what can I do to just slow him down? He's still got 4 turns, 7, 8, 9, and 10 to get to those units off. But I was like working out his truck movement rates at 2 hexes per, sorry, so 2 movement points per hex. I'm thinking he's not going to get many of them off. So it's still close. I can't play foolishly, but I was feeling quite confident at this point. In fact, very confident to be perfectly honest. But as I said, due to life events, we had to then play by email. So there was an exchange of logs. So you're going to see a few exchange of log files here. It's just the nature of the game. So let's go back to the map and see, or continue to see what's going to happen. So there'll be a tendency here to actually type a little bit more. So got 3 attacks coming in. Checking line of sight. Got other attacks coming in there. There we go, 2 and 3 all marked. Remember, you've got to pre-designate. Okay, these seem the obvious shots. 1 and 2 are greater than 4 to 1. 3 is at 1 to 3. Dicing them in order. So you're doing an attack for dice, attack 1, which, as he says, 1 and 2 are greater than 4 to 1. But there is always that -1. Remember the chart here, if he rolls a +1, if he rolls a 7, it's nothing. So attack 1 successful, attack 2 successful, attack 3 at 1 to 3 with a 3 unsuccessful. First 2 are kills, fortification not even disrupted, or dispersed, whichever terminology you like. There we go, gone. Marking the units that are fired, and then onto vehicle movement. But that's the end of that log. Okay, log 2 says vehicle movement. In the movement, you have to move vehicles first, then you can move your infantry. All right, we're talking about naming the log files, and I came up with an idea for him. All right, so what's moving here? So all these boys down the bottom in the town. There's little or nothing I can do. Here he's as they just keep funneling through. Infantry starting to load back up in their half track because there's just no opposition for them. And even the trucks are starting to come through. Because even though this guy can see this hex and this hex, they can't fire at it because there's no one spotting for them. Well, no Russians left there. But have I done enough? Some big trucks, some more support vehicles coming through at the top there. Making sure he's all loaded up. These trucks have got no one in them, so they're just literally part of the 30 units that he needs to get off the board. Infantry movement. He has got some infantry to move in and around the breakthrough area. I think that's it. All onto Russian turn. Clears up. End of the log file. So I make a declaration there, beginning of the Russian turn 7. As I am not adjacent to anyone, which I'm not, and or have no one in, he has no units in the open, there is no shooting from the Soviets. So we're into my movement. I have no vehicles that I want to move. He's quite happy sitting there. Into my infantry. And it's basically the board creep. Yes, now I've managed to get a unit back here. That's it. Can't really do anything. I am totally reactive now. And it's all dependent how much he can get through this little funnel of opportunity. I'm trying to get some units here just to slow him down. At this point, I was thinking, this could still go either way. This definitely could go either way. So turn 8. Okay. Some more attacks. He wants to get rid of that guy because he can spot for my command post. He's still trying to get rid of this guy on the hill, who hasn't, to be fair, done very much, but he's still there. Attack 1 is 4-1. He's throwing the big boys at it, the mortar on the hill. 4-1, rolling them in order. Now, okay. So remember, it's -1. I'll rephrase that. It's +1 because of the woods. 4 and 4. So he's taken them both out. Well, it felt sorry. He's taken, to me, the key one there because I need him to spot for this guy so that these guys can fire because these guys are doing nothing without someone being able to see the Germans. Okay, and then we go on to vehicle movement. Is he doing any vehicle movement? I can't see. No, he's just marking units at the moment. Oh, my bad. He's doing vehicle movement down here. Yeah, I've stopped the map centralizing on opponent's moves because that's when every time we were moving one of these counters off to the side of the map, that's why the map kept on bobbing all over the place. Now, the downside of it is, what was moving here? So, yes, I could take it back, but you can see he had units here, which he's now moved to here. Again, nothing I can do. So there's no defensive fire or Overwatch or whatever you want to call it in this game. I think some of that was introduced in Panzer Leader, and that's why this game gets the word Panzer Bush. You know, moving from cover to cover, your opponent not being able to do anything about it. I still don't see that as a big downside. You've got to just plan around it. So, yeah. Each of these hexes is 250 meters. So, you know, we're talking like well, from here, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, that's 2 kilometers range. So it's quite a distance. If he stayed there, then this guy would spot for him, and then these guys could fire him. But that's what you've got to plan around. Okay, well, I would say winch. These guys moving across here. Now, the way I'm looking at this is all right. He's obviously putting these in a position to move off board. I can't really do anything about them, but they're not doing anything to me. They're not actively engaging my units here, so I'm just not that bothered by them. Right, he made a mistake with this unit. See this truck unit's moving now? He made a mistake. He miscalculated. I moved him into there. That's he's not allowed to do. Well, he is. It's just one movement point too far. Um, so there will be some corrections to this. I think everything else stayed the same. All I'm going to do is there were about 2 or 3 logs where we exchanged and went back and forth, recalculating things. It doesn't really change that much, so I will jump. Harri, trucks are 5 to leave a gully. So he even notices around here that it costs 5 to move a gully, but he forgot here because that's the bridge. He thought it was they were classed as being on the bridge. I said, no, 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 no. So this is that. Trucks are 5 moving factor to leave gully, +4 for slope. So this little wreck forest path is where the trucks get stuck. That's my thinking as well, Harri. So no infantry movements are over to me. There's no way to save 30 units for marginal, as we have already noticed earlier. But let's play it out and see how many I can save. So he's already working out that he can't get the units off. But I still need 2 to get a marginal myself. So this is actually now, he hasn't lost a unit for a while. He's 8, so it could be heading towards a draw. Okay, start a new log file. No. So I splice in at that point. I said, hi, Harri. Splicing in here, that means you can join the 2 log files sort of together. The following unit spent 13, and that's those trucks that I mentioned a few moments ago. Taking back their move. Okay, so that's 2, 4, 6, 8, and then 5 up the slope. 5 is 13. They don't have 13. So moving back and marking as you might want to redo that move. I'll continue through the rest of the log. So the rest of this you've sort of seen. Um, let him carry on his move. And as you can see, I knocked down with the blue arrow for him to go back and do. So I think you've seen all the rest of these moves here. Okay. Um, and he's actually admitting there, okay, for another truck movement. Okay. So he's written there, so he can't think of how he's going to get marginal. So, but can I get the marginal? I need 2 more. Passing back for the blue arrow adjustment. Okay, so let's have a look at that. Load game. Log 4B. Say again, no. Yep, good catch. My arrow was thinking the bridge is like a ford and allows to come up from the gully without the extra movement point cost. No, 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 no. There is no hex where the trucks can safely go, so they need to stay in Russia. So he's pulling them back. Unless here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Out of the range of guns in the fort. So that's where spotter line of sight blocks by the hill, I think. He's correct, it is. Let's try that, see if I'm missing something. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Boom. End of the log file. Okay. So that was 4B, so we're now on to log 5. And in other words, my turn 8. So as I've said, there's not much I can see. So without much seeing, not much shooting, is there? Or is there? I think I can see that truck. Because I fired in that hex before. Missed, but I did fire there. And I mark it with my big mortars. I thought, oh, I think Harri has made a mistake there. That's a 4-1 auto kill. Which gets me my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. My 10. Gets me my minor victory. Or marginal. Moves. I've still got 1 mobile unit that can't fire at anything, but I'm still trying to block roads. Close assault. 2 of them. The blue one first. Okay, so I'm attacking with 5 versus the half-track force. That's 1-1. Now infantry don't count. 1-1 with -2 for combined arms and +1 for woods. Roll a 1. DD. So they're not moving. Red assault. 6v8. So my infantry there were 6 versus the Panzer 4, 8. 1-2. -2 combined arms. Sorry, close assault. And +1 for the town. All of 5 gun 4, no effect. So clearing up. Hopefully that was all correct. I was more concerned about that line of sight. I think I'm sure that was right. On to turn 9. So let's load at turn 9. Load game. We're looking at turn 9, log 6. Okay, it's loaded up. All right. Cannot see these guys since the dispersed cannot spot, so you can't see that unit, which is good. Means we have to dump all firepower on those guys. Yeah. Remember, I'm still sort of like thinking losses for the Russians is irrelevant. He needs to get the units off. There's 50 factors attacking 18, plus some local guys, I assume. Needs 72 for the 4-to-1 effect. And you can bring some more. That's it. It shot 4-to-1, rolls a 6. Harri manages to roll a 6. First time in the game, I believe. Um, that's his most. They're staying there. Anything but a 6, and he would have taken them out. So vehicle movement then. 2, 4, 6, 8. More of this at the rear here movement. How many units is he going to be able to get off the board? He needs 30 for that marginal. We'll unload the engineer just to deny some easy CC victories for me. But no infantry movement. The rest of the trucks are effectively stuck. Okay, so he has potential of getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 off the board, because that was his penultimate movement phase. Okay, Russian turn 9. Yeah, just loading the game files. I could pause the video, but there we go. Turn 9, log 7. For me, this is a target-rich environment because there's now places, units that I can actually hit because they're in the gully. If my guys on the hill can see, couldn't see them through the gully because I can't see through this hill, but I can see these guys. Well, I can't see that guy because I've got no one spotting, but I definitely can see him. So for me, as I said, it's a target-rich environment. As in other words, I can actually see someone. I can also see him with this guy, who can then help this guy shoot at him. Woo! And my mortars can see. So attack 1, 24 versus 4. They've only got defense of 4 in there because they're uploaded. The infantry are in the vehicle. So with a 1, that's a kill. Attack 2. 12 plus 28 plus 3, 43 versus 14, 3-1. On that one there. 3, double D. Which doesn't do anything other than, oops, just realized it could not fire at gun. Ah, yeah, I forgot about that guy there. Can't fire through that grey hex side there. Attack drops by 12, so 2-1 attack. Still a D, so they're still dispersed. My infantry crawl. Close assault phase. I couldn't assault with this guy because he used the road movement rate to get there. So 6 versus 14. Because in the town you count everybody. He's got 4 plus 10 is 14. And they're no longer in the half track. Minus 1. 1 to 3. Oh, 3 becomes a 2. No. Not enough. Clear up the board. We're on to turn 10. Low game. German turn 10. Not much shooting I can see, at least not much that builds up to anything. Okay. So vehicle movement, and this is where he starts to get stuff off the board. One. The rest could get to stay in Russia. All right. So he decided not to. These guys can get into cover. Oh, they can just get off. These guys barely make it, I think. 3 move factor to get up from the gully. Correct. Rest are doomed to gulags. So he's moving over here. Okay. 10 out of 30 made it. Okay, right. Well, let's do the last log. Okay. Morning, Harri. Yeah, I was shooting this in the morning, early morning, drinking a cup of coffee. The question is, can I cause another 12 kills for a tactical win? Because at the present moment, I have 3, 6, 9, 12. Why I need, I mean, to get to 20, so I only need 8 more kills. Why I said 12 there, to get from a marginal. So I've won the game, but can I improve my win? Checking line of sight, because these are now exposed in the open. If I can hit them, but it's these slopes here. This is going to stop the shot. Attack 1 is an auto kill. So I've declared attack 1 as an auto kill. I had to double check the rules for that observation. As you can see the arrows there. And because it crosses the slope here, it blocks the line of sight. The line of sight goes through 13 hex sides before reaching the final brown hex side and 9 after to your unit along the line of sight. So it goes through 13 hex sides to get to that point there. Okay, and then 9 beyond that. Therefore, line of sight obstructed, so no shot. So if that bloody hill was in the way, that would have been an auto kill, and that would have been a nice auto kill, because that would have been 1, 2, 3, 4 towards the 8 I need. At which point I think we will end the game there, as I cannot get the 20 units. There was no way I was going to get another 8 units to get to the tactical victory. So it's a Soviet marginal win. This was an interesting and quite on the edge of the seat scenario, especially around those early battles at the top there when I was trading blood for time. The Soviets, for a change, having to exchange blood instead of space, as I mentioned. Thanks for the game. Now I'm going to make the situation 9 die roll, and I'm going to show this on here. Okay, odds you are the Soviets. So we're making a roll for the next actual situation 9. Okay, drum roll. Go on, drum roll. So I'm assuming he's not drum rolling. Okay, I rolled a 4. In the next scenario, he is the Germans. Looks like you need to create a defense. Goodbye. So he will now set up a defense for us to play against. Let me bring this back up to the top. Okay, 10-turn scenario, all done in one video. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please do the like. It helps the channel a lot. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, please do so, because I do quite a few of these kind of things. And remember the little bell that lets you know when I load up anything. And of course, all the comments, much appreciated. Did you see anything wrong? Was it a dull scenario, interesting scenario, whatever? I keep saying scenario, they call them situations. But anyway, the next one will be, well, technically, actually, we started. I did the movement of that before I shot the video. So, and I will be bringing that to the channel. I hope to do the whole of the 12 situations that came in the original PanzerBlitz box, and then we'll see what happens beyond that. Um, Let me know in the comments. Basically, that's it. Not much more to say. I squeezed out a margin, and it seems like most of these scenarios are either a draw or a marginal. To get a tactical or decisive victory, I think your opponent has got to make some serious, serious mistakes. Who knows? We'll see in the next one. Um, Thank you for watching, as I said already. Play games. If you haven't got PanzerBlitz, get it out. I know it's a bit dated. Um, the Panzerbush syndrome, when you move from cover to cover, you just got to play with it. I know Panzer Leader copes for that, or introduces, I think it's an optional rule. It's not actually a set rule in the game that you can shoot at targets that move in the open. And I've just recently picked up Arab-Israelis War, so hopefully I'll bring that to the channel at some point too. Um, we're in the festive season, so if you watch this and don't watch any further ones before Christmas, have a great time. Enjoy your break, play games, have fun. Bye, Internet.